LaGrange as well, Russell Corner, the Owen area, and Skylight. If you're in and close to those regions, get to your tornado warning shelter area and stay there until the danger has passed. This is a very strong fast to the ground in the form of a damaging straight line wind gust and maybe even an isolated tornado spin up. And that's what we think this will be today. Isolated bouts of severe weather. I don't think the entire viewing area is going to get raked with severe weather, but certainly in spots where the heavier cores form and tap into that wind energy, yeah, we have a chance for some severe weather like we're seeing right now. Mo, if you would, let's pull out just a little bit and let's track this thing. It's moving off in again, a northeasterly direction towards Russell Corner and moving off to the east-northeast at speeds of around 40 miles an hour. Now, keep in mind, we are tracking the most dangerous part of this storm. So that's the rotation, the potential tornado. I don't have any confirmed touchdowns. Mo, do you have your mic on? Do you have a mic? No, not yet. Okay. If you would, work on that when you have a second. I want to talk to you about, any damage reports and things like that. Storm spotter reports coming on in. Okay. Well, that's good. Mo is telling me that so far we don't have any confirmed touchdowns. She's monitoring the chat lines and also talking with some of our storm spotters, making calls to law enforcement. And so far, so good. And hopefully, let's keep that trend going. But you can see some of the communities in the path of this rotation, including Goshen, just about 2 o'clock. The Owen area, a little after 2 o'clock itself, 2:05. Same with Skylight, Westport, 2:15. If it holds together, it could be very close to the LaGrange area, maybe just north of you by 2:20, 2:25 Eastern time. So be on the lookout for that. We're monitoring that tornado warning, which remains in effect for the next several minutes. Outside of that, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the potential for strong gusty winds, to include the downtown region on into sections of northeastern Jefferson County, especially south of Prospect. And this would include near the Ford truck plant, for example, to near Barber Mead, and then back off towards the southwest, down 71, closer to the downtown region. That area also involved in the potential for some strong gusty winds. Very heavy rainfall also occurring with this thunderstorm. Might be seeing some runoff problems. We need the rainfall, as you know. We've got drought conditions galore. We need a lot more rain, but we need that rain that comes down slow and steady. Not this type of rain, but nonetheless, this is the type of rain that could cause runoff problems and maybe some ponding as these storms shift on through. All right, let's kind of pull out, Mo. Let's reset, take a look at the entire viewing area. So here's what's going on this early Tuesday afternoon. A cold front is off to the west. It is moving slowly eastbound, interacting with the warm, moist air. Add to that a little bit of jet stream wind energy, and you've got the ingredients for isolated to widely scattered strong to severe storms. And one of those storms, a cluster anyway, right on top of the metro area from near downtown, just north of the Waterson, and especially off to the northeast into Oldham County, southeastern Clark County, where there's a little bit of rotation showing up, hence the tornado warning that has been issued. Another strong storm is pulling out of the viewing area, out of Washington County, County, Kentucky, and this is moving on into Mercer and Boyle County. We can say goodbye to that one, but that one has been producing a little bit of hail and some strong winds as well. And you can see how widely scattered the storm pattern is. I expect that trend to continue. Not everybody's going to see severe weather. We do have a severe alert day posted here for the WLKY viewing area, but again on a scattered basis. And it just happens that one of those scattered severe storms is very close or right on top of the downtown region and especially off to the northeast. Severe thunderstorm warnings flashing in the orange. A tornado warning remains in effect. That's flashing in the red, and that is immediately off to the northeast of the downtown region. Now, this is away from Prospect, so if you're in the Prospect area, surrounding communities, that tornado warning has been trimmed off to the east of you. You are done with any tornadic weather for now. However, having said that, if there is a tornado that's trying to form, if there is, it would be very, very close to the skylight area. That's where you have this little notch that doesn't look all that well defined anymore. We still have some wind energy out there and some rotation, but again, it's relatively broad rotation, so hopefully we'll keep that trend going. But you can see from the Goshen area up US Highway 42 to Skylight, that is where we have this rotating thunderstorm where there could be at the very least some wind damage going on, a strong straight line wind gust, and maybe a quick hitting tornado spin up as well. Mo, from what you've seen though, rotation, reports, we're doing okay right now.
The only reports we have are actually from the storm that moved through the Knobs a little while ago. It's no longer warned, but they did have power outages. Traffic lights are out at the intersection of US 150 out by Paoli Pike. Okay. There is also trees down in Hodgenville and LaRue County from an earlier storm that I think was actually originated in that area and has made its way up. So now at this point it has been warned as a tornado, but it originally was just a very strong, severe thunderstorm a little while ago. We are getting some reports of some hail, and you can see the hail tracker there. This came out of this the tornado warn storm that it looks like it's been trimmed back a little bit, but at this point, yeah, if it is coming down, I think this looks about a half inch now. It's right over Goshen. Yeah. Trying to query how big this is, but I'm having some trouble there.
This is a classic little supercellular thunderstorm that has formed in this cluster of thunderstorms, if you will. It's rotating, and this thing producing maybe a little bit of hail that could be pea to marble sized. That's the type of report we've been receiving since this storm developed and intensified off to the west near the Corydon area. It's still likely producing some hail, but I think the greatest threat, the very heavy rainfall, the gusty straight line winds that no doubt could cause some power outages, some tree damage as well, and maybe that isolated spin up, that quick hitting spin up as well. The rotation is relatively broad, but we're watching it closely. Right now, it's very close to the Skylight area. This is US Highway 42. You can follow my finger there through Oldham County. Here's Prospect, there's northeastern Jefferson County, Green Spring, the Glen Oaks area, the Ford truck plant, Pee Wee Valley. The most intense portion of that cell is now to your east and northeast, okay? It's moved out of the metro area, but it's pretty much right on top of northern and central sections of Oldham County, from about the Ohio River along US Highway 42 and as far south as the Buckner region. So if you're in Skylight, Westport, Russell Corner, LaGrange, Buckner, as I mentioned, stay in that tornado warning shelter area until the danger has passed or the warning has either been expired or canceled. And it does expire at 2:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Still a very well-defined strong to severe storm, which is showing signs of some rotation, some wind damage potential as well as it moves off towards the east-northeast rather rapidly. There's your rotation. Green, winds blowing towards the bottom left-hand portion of your TV set. Red, the opposite direction. Notice how they're right on top of one another, right on top of US Highway 42 in Oldham County, so that's why the tornado warning continues. It's relatively broad at this time, but we don't want to put down our guard. Let's be safe rather than sorry, so stay in that tornado warning shelter area until the danger has passed. Now back off towards the southwest, you can see additional severe thunderstorm warnings issued for sections of Floyd County on into far northwestern Jefferson County, near the Portland neighborhood, the California neighborhood, for example, to near downtown. That's where we're getting some very heavy rainfall, certainly, and widely scattered wind gusts that could be 50 to 60 miles per hour. I don't see any rotation in this particular cell at this point in the game. It's just some heavy rainfall and perhaps some gusty winds on the leading edge of that heavy rain. And if you look real close, see that green line that's pretty much right on top of the Waterston now? That's the outflow boundary. That's the gust front. And along that, you could have winds that could be 40, 50, maybe 55 miles an hour in isolated locations. And sure enough, that would be enough to cause a little bit of tree damage and perhaps some power outages as well. All right, Mo, back to some of the reports coming in. Sounds like we're pretty quiet as far as reports go.
Yeah, we haven't gotten too many. I did hear that the tornado sirens were going off out by Glen Oaks. However, the tornado warning did not encompass part of that. So that is good news. We are seeing some heavy rain downtown. Wanted to show you some of the cameras there. Here's one camera trying to face, you can barely see the bridges there. It's a rain-soaked camera here. And then also downtown, if you're driving in this, it's almost some sunshine through there. Look at this. This is, looks like this is over the Kennedy Bridge. Trying to remove this locator here. There you go. So this is not something you want to be driving in, but of course, you just get caught in them sometimes. But at this point, looking for any updates as far as damage hasn't really come in. Just some power outages. Okay. Let's see. They are going to be extending, I believe, that severe thunderstorm warning towards, the tornado warning. They are thinking about extending it towards the Henry and Trumbull County. So we're going to be watching that next scan just to see how this plays out. But I just wanted to take a look at the analysis one more time and pull that up and just monitor that tornado warned storm. If we can get this moving, we're looking at our analysis. There we go. At this point, we haven't gotten any updates from damage, so that is some good news. But it does look like they might extend this tornado warning into Henry and Trumbull counties. But at this point, this particular warning should expire at 2:15, at least for the area that it's at. And it's moving up towards Russell Corner, LaGrange, it's headed in the direction away from us. So that is some good news, but we are still in this warned storm.
All right, Mo, thank you very much. So there's your tornado warning. Just did receive a phone call from a viewer in northeastern Jefferson County, really close to the Oldham-Jefferson County line, saying there was definitely rotation going on. Didn't really see anything touching the ground, but it was rotating aloft, perhaps maybe a funnel cloud, and certainly some hail in and close to the region as well. And that core is now here in central and eastern portions of Oldham County. Brand new tornado warning has just been issued farther off to the east, northeast, an extension, if you will, to include the remainder of northeastern Oldham County on into southern Trimble County and western sections of Henry County, and that goes until 2:30. So if you are watching from Smithfield, Newcastle, Campbellsburg, over towards very close to Bedford, but especially south of there, and then down into Oldham County, Russell Corner, LaGrange, Buckner. If I called out your city or you live around those communities I just called out, you are underneath the tornado warning and will be for the next several minutes. Now, again, we don't have any confirmed touchdowns, as I just talked about. We did have a caller give us a quick buzz and say there was definitely rotation as this thing passed on through. Very, very windy conditions and even some hail as well. So we're going to have to watch it very closely. And you can still see kind of a notch right here, an inflow notch, very close to the Russell Corner area. There's Highway 393 across sections of Oldham County. It's immediately off to the east and northeast of there. This is U.S. Highway 42 moving into Russell Corner. I would say the most dangerous part of the storm is very close to Russell Corner with a strong wind gust extending to the south through LaGrange and the center field area. Is this entire region getting raked by 60-mile-an-hour winds? Likely not. We're probably seeing scattered strong wind gusts, 40, 50, maybe 60 in isolated spots, but that potential is there for certainly some wind damage as this rotating, this supercellular thunderstorm moves off to the east-northeast at a rapid clip of 30 to 40 miles per hour. And that's the good news. It is moving quickly, so it will be out of the viewing area probably within the next 30 to 60 minutes altogether, and hopefully it will weaken as well. All right, so here's the rotation. Green again, I've been talking about this, are winds that are blowing towards the bottom left-hand portion of your TV set. Red, the opposite direction. And yes, we have some broad rotation showing up, but nothing that screams to me anyway that there is a tornado on the ground. I don't see that right now. I do see broad rotation, and that is, of course, very common with a supercellular thunderstorm. That when you have the rotation, that storm, the chances for that storm to produce severe weather goes way up. And that's what we're looking at least a strong straight line wind gust and even some hail. And we've had reports of that already with this particular cell. All right, let's pull out a little bit more, Mo. Let's put the reflectivity field back on. Let's kind of reset, take a look at the entire viewing area, because we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that has also been issued. Mo, that watch goes until what?
I believe 6 o'clock. I'm trying to get that up on the screen. Also wanted to just let you know, because of where this is at, our tornado warnings, these severe thunderstorm warnings, this cluster, we're getting close to dismissal for the elementary schools in Oldham County and some of these counties. And so there was an alert that sent out saying that some students in these areas could be held past dismissal time because of the tornado warnings for Oldham County. So the students are currently sheltering in their tornado safe areas at this time. So if you have children in school and you're watching from home and you're concerned, they did let us know, and they're probably trying to message you as well, that the kids are in their tornado safe areas and they will likely have to stay a little bit later than dismissal time until these storms pass. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that one. As far as that watch goes, a special weather statement they've sent out a little bit earlier and trying to get a little bit more information, but it looks like about tornado watch for a good chunk of the area. Let me pull this up on the map so you can see the area. So this is going to be until 8 o'clock.
Okay, severe thunderstorm
Eastern.
Watch until 8 o'clock. Yeah.
And that's for this area in the shaded, that's this khaki color. So not everyone, but most of the viewing area until 8 o'clock will be under this severe thunderstorm watch until about 8 o'clock.
Okay, Mo, thank you. And you can see the back edge of the threat, if you will, extending across Washington County, northwestern portions of Harrison County, and then back off towards the southwest into Breckenridge County. That's the back edge of the severe threat. That is the wind shift line, if you will. And once that moves across any one location, the threat for any severe weather eastbound will also be dropping off. But until that does, we're going to have to be on the lookout for these scattered strong cores developing in the very warm, muggy air mass that has developed on this Tuesday early to mid-afternoon. All right, so here's what we got going on, just scattered strong to severe storms. And it just so happens that the strongest activity is close to the metro and now off to the east-northeast of the metro area. Still looking at a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Floyd County, far northwestern Jefferson County, although that core seems to have weakened just a little bit. Certainly still some heavy rain going on, but it looks like the heaviest or strongest wind gust is now south of the warned area. Okay, this is the cluster that we continue to monitor very, very closely. This is a supercellular thunderstorm that is racing off to the east-northeast, capable of producing damaging straight line winds, number one, where you see this from about the notch and just off to the south of there, kind of that backward C, that little bowing segment that is now through LaGrange and pushing rapidly off to the east. Now, this is going to move quickly into sections of Henry County over the next few minutes. So if you reside here in western portions of Henry County, be on the lookout for that. Some strong gusty winds, and we still have that potential for an isolated tornado spin-up, and that's why the tornado warning has been issued, to include far southern Trimble County from about Bedford and points south especially, southern Trimble County through western portions of Henry County. This warning goes for the next 16 minutes until 2:30 Eastern Daylight Time. The worst of the weather has pretty much moved out of the metro. Having said that, we still have some pretty strong storms in and close to the metro area. They're just producing some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. Right now, you can see some heavy rain on top of the Linden area. There is the Watterson Expressway and then out 64. So here on the east end, some pretty heavy rainfall. And this is chugging its way towards places like Crestwood, Lake Forest, Hurstbourne Acres. This looks like it could catch J-Town as well as it continues to push off to the east. The biggest cluster, the most intense cluster, though, is indeed off to the northeast of the metro area now, sitting there in eastern portions of Oldham County. Still some broad rotation showing up in the tornado-warned zone, especially central portions, immediately east of Russell Corner there, where you see the red and the green. That implies some broad rotation at this point in the game, moving off to the east. Mo, let's put a storm track on that for me. Moving east-northeast at speeds of around 30 miles per hour, and we're going to be tracking the most dangerous part of the storm. I realize that other areas, it might already be storming in your region, but I'm tracking where the rotation is evolving, where it's located, and where it's heading. And you can see we're talking the Pendleton area around 222. If that rotation holds together, it's going to be impacting Pendleton around 222. Same with Sligo over towards the Sulphur area, 225. Campbellsburg, 232. And then a little bit farther off to the east through central and eastern portions of Henry County, you get towards Providence, Turner Station, and Port Royal after the bottom of the hour. Hopefully that warning will be canceled or expired by that time. But until then, please stay in your tornado warning shelter area until the danger has passed on by, because this storm, even though it doesn't scream, hey, tornado on the ground to me right now, I just don't see that strong rotational couplet. It is still broadly rotating. And in an environment that we have today, it wouldn't take much to get a quick tornado spin up. So to be safe rather than sorry, just stay in that tornado warning shelter area here in sections of Oldham County, close to LaGrange and off to the north of there. Now pretty much on the Henry-Oldham County line. You can see that little notch right there. And then the heavy rainfall extending to the east. There's the rotation happening right there in that thunderstorm, right in the central portions of that tornado-warned polygonal as it moves off to the east and also the northeast. Close to and especially north of I-71 right now in far eastern Oldham County and western portions of Henry County. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that kind of is around the outsides of the tornado-warned part of the storm to encompass, again, Oldham County, sections of eastern Clark County, and on into Trimble County as well. So be on the lookout in those regions for heavy rainfall and gusty winds on a sporadic basis. As we go farther to the southwest now, Mo, let's go into the downtown area and zoom in kind of tight.
Oh, downtown.
Yes. And you can see some pretty heavy rainfall. Now, you might be watching from the Linden area, St. Matthews. Yeah, it's pouring out there, and maybe even some gusty winds. But that storm in sections of Jefferson County is not severe at this time. We're monitoring it, but it is producing some much needed rainfall. And as I was looking at some of the traffic cams Mo had up earlier, no doubt on I-65, especially over the bridge there, you could see some ponding going on. So be careful. I mean, no question about it. It's slow going. There's going to be some ponding with these heavy downpours, and you got to watch out for potential hydroplaning if you have to get out in this mess. If you don't have to go out, listen, just stay home, let this stuff pass on through, and it will be doing so over the next couple of hours, and everything will be calmed down probably by the dinner time hour. But yeah, you can definitely see the heavy rain falling in portions of the metro and points off to the northeast up the I-71 corridor along the Ohio River as well as you make your way up into sections of Trimble County. So there's that thunderstorm. You can see the leading edge now extending into western Henry County, no doubt capable of producing some strong winds, at least 50 miles an hour, maybe 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in scattered locations. Mo, it looks to me that this storm is starting to take on more of a bowing segment, a backward C. And what I mean by that, just kind of follow my hand here. Just like that. That is a classic radar signature for a wind-damaging thunderstorm, if you will. And the strongest winds are coming into the storm aloft right through this region and then descend down towards the ground on the leading edge of that real heavy rainfall. And we get some wind damage as a result. With that strong damaging wind gusts from time to time, you can get some shearing. And in this case, you might be able to churn up an isolated spin up. Thank goodness that has not happened to this point, and hopefully that trend will continue.
They are, you can see they're starting to trim back the tornado warning. So hopefully this is going to be it as far as our tornado warnings go. I did want to let you know, though, we had gotten an email that a semi was turned over because of the high winds in Washington County. Those were those really rambunctious storms that had gotten that were warned earlier this afternoon, about an hour or so ago, that are now pushing out of the viewing area. But it looks like we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Greene County. That was just issued a couple of minutes ago, and this is heading northeast into parts of Washington and Marion County. This is going to go until 2:45. So we're in Greene County, and that also includes Taylor and then parts of Marion County. But it looks like we do, I'll try and put this out on social media, this picture of a semi that is on its side. This took place on 555 near 150 bypass. It's near River of Life intersection in Washington County, Kentucky. That happened about 25 minutes ago.
It's from that storm right there, which
Yes.
has weakened dramatically, thank goodness.
It
But
has.
yeah, it was strong as it tracked across southern portions of the viewing area earlier. All right, so kind of pull out here. We have just a couple of warnings to talk about. 2 severe thunderstorm warnings off to the northeast of the metro. 1 severe thunderstorm warning. Another one off to the south-southeast by about 60 miles or so. But this encompasses the county seats of Greensburg, Campbellsville, and even Lebanon up into Marion County. So even though it's not raining yet in Campbellsville or Lebanon, know that you have a thunderstorm off to your southwest that is moving in your direction. And if it maintains its size and also its strength, you'll likely be seeing some pretty rough weather here, some gusty winds, maybe some hail over the next 15 to 30 minutes. Greene County, Taylor County, Marion County. We still have a tornado warning that's in effect for portions of Henry County as well as southern Trimble County for the next several minutes. But this storm, the rotation, to me, I think it's really weakened quite a bit. It's very, very broad. And NWS looks like it might be trimming back the tornado portion of the storm and going with a downstream severe thunderstorm warning. Hopefully that'll be the case. In other words, we'll kind of downgrade this warning just a little bit. But it is a classic, what we call bow echo. It looks like a backward C, no question about it. That is a radar signature that implies strong, damaging straight line winds in scattered locations, especially on the leading edge of the bowing segment. So we're talking anywhere from just off to the west-southwest of Carrollton, through Campbellsburg, just off to the west of Newcastle, down to just west of Smithfield, even into portions of eastern and southeastern Oldham County. We have to be on the lookout for some strong gusty winds with that brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. Mo, would you please put on the velocity for me once again? I just want to make sure that we are indeed seeing just broad rotation here. And yeah, I mean, nothing that sticks out and says tornado at all. Broad rotation with this supercellular Boeing segment that's kind of moving parallel to and off towards the northeast along Interstate 71 on either side into our northeastern communities. That tornado warning goes for the next about 5 minutes or so until 2:30, and severe thunderstorm warnings will go a little bit longer than that as the storm continues to track its way off towards the northeast. Now, down here in the metro, let's go back to the reflectivity field. Let's check out the Louisville area and see what's going on. And as you can see, we still have some locally heavy rainfall in and close to Barber Mead, Windy Hills, the St. Matthews region, and right around the malls, for example, and then over towards the Ford truck plant, Pee Wee Valley, this entire region of east and northeastern Jefferson County getting some much needed rainfall. And there could be some gusty winds, but this is not a severe cell, just some heavy rainfall, but certainly capable of producing some ponding on the roadways. So that's why I just talked about a little bit ago. If you don't have to go out, just wait this one out, let it get on through, and then go about your normal activities once the storm cluster has cleared the area. That area of green that's down close to J-Town, that's the outflow boundary, the leading edge of rain-cooled air, and that in itself could be producing winds, you know, of 40 to 50 miles an hour. 60, I doubt it. That's maybe higher up in the atmosphere. But nonetheless, it's capable of producing a nice little wind gust as it moves across central and soon-to-be southeastern portions of Jefferson County. Additional scattered showers and storms off to the west-northwest, not showing signs of intensifying all that much as the storms out ahead of these guys has likely overturned the atmosphere a little bit. It's kind of stabilized things a little bit, so hopefully these will maintain their lower intensity level over the next several hours. Mo, let's go south of the Ohio River. Let's go down to near Brandenburg. We have some heavy downpours going on right now, not showing signs of becoming severe at all, but nonetheless moving off to the east-northeast. And then we have that other cluster that's farther south in Greene County and Taylor County. Here's Greensburg right here, and you can see it's basically just off to the north of 68, I believe that is, where we have the heaviest weather going on. A little bit of broad rotation in that particular cell, but not showing signs of anything tornadic, but certainly capable of producing some strong winds and maybe a little bit of hail too, as that storm cluster moves off to the northeast into sections of Taylor County, and if it holds together, south central Marion County over the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. So there you go. We have two clusters out there producing at least the potential for some strong weather, some severe weather, most notably in the form of damaging straight line wind gusts. Even though we have that tornado warning still in effect, again, I don't see anything tornadic at this point in time. There's broad rotation, but that broad rotation would also imply a pretty high likelihood for at least some damaging straight line winds, winds that are capable of bringing down some tree limbs and maybe even cutting some power lines as well. New severe thunderstorm warnings has been issued out ahead of the tornado warning, so that's good to see. Perhaps a downgrade to the entire system as this thing has weakened a little bit anyway. It's losing its tornadic characteristics and becoming more of just a straight line wind producing thunderstorm as it moves off to the east-northeast along the I-71 corridor on into our northeastern communities. Mo, any other reports coming out? I mean, it's been very quiet as far as that goes.
It has been very quiet, but they are starting to come in, Jay. So we did get a single report of a tree down on Goshen Lane. It's unconfirmed, but it looks like the Oldham County Emergency Management, they're going to go and start taking a look at everything as things start to calm down. Just get reports starting to come in. Hail along 42 in Old Sligo. It went through my neighborhood, so I'm starting to get text messages from the neighbors.
Okay.
Branches and limbs are down, but no extensive damage. I also wanted to let you know, for those folks who do have kids in the Oldham County School District, they are going to be keeping the kids a little bit later today until the storm threat has passed. Kids are in the tornado safe areas. So that's some good news. They knew what to do. But again, they usually are dismissed. A few minutes ago, I think they're going to hold them a little bit later. So if you are waiting for them to get off the bus at a certain time, it's probably going to be later than normal because of these storms.
Okay.
But at this point, really, we're just getting updates that rotation, it's weak, it's broad. If there is a change in the trend, they'll let us know, but I think they are going to go ahead and expire at 2:30. So that's good that the tornado threat will be over with.
Yeah, and you can clearly see here on the rotation detector as we go back in time. I'm kind of analyzing this entire complex, but that's why I've been changing the product so rapidly on your television set. I do apologize for that, but just a quick analysis. You can see the brighter shades of green as it moved from very close to the Lee Hamilton into southeastern Clark County, then very close to Goshen, and then notice how we just kind of lost that. So that does no doubt imply that we're losing any and all tornadic characteristics to this thunderstorm, which is great to see. And, still producing heavy rainfall and perhaps some strong winds as it moves across portions of western and central Henry County, especially. That's where I would say the greatest potential for a damaging straight line wind gust would be located. And it looks to be very close to, is that U.S. Highway 421? Right there, Mo?
Right there, 421.
My eyes deceive me. The older I get in
around where
age.
the Boeing part, it's, along 421, down I-71. It is coming down in buckets. And I'll show you on our Trimark traffic cameras is heavy. Here's a look at I-71 a little further into Oldham County, and it is just torrential downpours right now. And then some of the other cameras, looks like the sun's trying to peek out through some of those clouds. Don't want to see that. We are still waiting for this front to pass through, but yeah, it is coming down. It's just torrential downpours here. So that's something you got to be so careful if you have to be driving out in this. Hopefully you don't have to be. Just wait until the storms pass. But we put the warning back on. Right now we just have the one warning over parts of Oldham, Trumbull, and Henry County, and then this warning for Greene County into Taylor and Marion.
Okay, so there you go. The tornado warnings have expired. They are being reissued with severe thunderstorm warnings downstream, which implies the rotation has also weakened quite a bit. No threat for a tornado anywhere in the viewing area right now. We're going to continue to monitor things throughout the course of the afternoon, obviously. Nonetheless, scattered showers and storms in the forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Isolated cores could be strong to severe. Highest likelihood for severe weather would include a damaging straight line wind gust and even some hail. And a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for about the east-southeastern 2/3 of the viewing area. And this does include the metro, and that goes until 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern Daylight Time. So again,